It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Citi Prime News. My name is Zoe Abube-Eduardo, and I'm here with
Charles Owusukomi.
The news is live from our studio at number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. Coming up, residents of Winneba in the Central Region march onto the streets to protest the sale of the Ramsar site for mining activities.
If they sell that land, like some of us, will not come and meet it. So once it is in our land, we are trying to protest it.
It's a warning to them. When they sell it, we'll rise and fight against them. It is ours. It is for the youth, generation now and generation unborn.
Also coming up, government to hold meetings with IPPs over debt issues as ECG promises to address outstanding issue with Sonon Asogli amid threats of shutdown.
The whole nation is in a frenzy about loss of power. Please keep calm. There are other measures that we can use to mitigate it as the utility. There's going to be a meeting before the end of the week. After this said meeting, everything will be put in place.
Still ahead, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta touts the National Cathedral as a catalyst for economic growth and urges Ghanaians to embrace its potential for prosperity. And later, Abokobi residents pile pressure on the government to swiftly construct roads in the area as the poor roads are causing harm. This news is live on all our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we are on Premier 100.5 FM in Takoradi and Beach 105.5 FM in Takoradi. In the Bono region, we are live on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani, Ashanti region, Orange FM 107.9. Volta region, Global 105.1 FM in Ho and Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya. Northern region, Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. Upper West, Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. Upper East, Source 100.1 FM in Boko, and in the Northeast region, we on Scap 101.3 FM in Nankpanduri. Across the globe, we are on citinewsroom.com.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for your time this afternoon. Now, some residents of Ifutu have taken onto the streets to show their displeasure over allegations of a possible sale of the Ramsar site in Winneba to some investors for mining. The concerned residents, mostly clad in red apparel, say the site that has been given to the investor is where they hunt for deer as part of their annual Abuatre festival. The discovery of lithium in large quantities in Ifutu and other parts of the central region has become a concern for many Ghanaians, with some calling for the permits to be given to an African entity and not an Australian one. This prospect of mining lithium in the area has not gone down well with residents of Winneba, who have threatened to halt the operations of the mining company, saying the exploration will destroy the protected area.
We, the youth in Winneba, we have standards. We will not allow them to destroy the item. Because we are going to give birth to children, it's for our late grandfathers and grandmothers. If they sell that land, like some of us, will not come and meet it. So once it is in our land, we are trying to protect it so that people will not come and destroy our water and our things. Because the water there, some of them catch fish in it. If they lock down the sea, that's where we get our fish and our show and everything there.
Seriously, Abuchi Festival is in jeopardy. Abuchi Festival is at stake. The future of Abuchi Festival will be seen no more. Why? Because where we do deer hunting, it's no more. So in one way or the other, we are fighting for our rights. We want to preserve Abuchi Festival, especially the ransom site, where we do the deer hunting.
What do you want those at the helm of affairs to do?
Those are the helm of affairs. I'm treating them. They must do the needful. They must do the needful. In fact, our forefathers, foreparents, left this preserved area for us. And so therefore, they need not to sell it. We are telling them and we are selling an alarm to them that they need not to sell it. It's a warning to them. When they sell it, we'll rise and fight against them. It is ours. It is for the youth, generation now and generation unborn. So they should do the needful there. We don't want any monetarism to take over. Therefore, they should be very careful of what they are doing.
Those were some residents of Winneba in the Central Region speaking to our Central Regional correspondent, Calvis Tete, who has joined us on the line for more. Good afternoon, Calvis. What is the size of the parcel of land in question?
Well, Zoe, I spoke to the conveners of this demonstration. They are saying the size of land is approximately 10 acres of land. And the company that is forcing to mine in the Ramsia side is Green Metal Resources. According to these demonstrators, they are not happy that such an acreage of land has been given to them, particularly where they also use that same site for the deer hunting when it gets to the abattoirs activity. So this morning, residents of Efutu have taken to the streets to demonstrate against this move, Zoe.
When was this land given out according to them?
Well, I spoke to them and they made mention that, there had been earlier discussion sometime last year, even with the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Abu Jinafor, raising the issue on the floor of Parliament that lithium has been found in some parts of the Central Region, with Winneba and Sanyabreku being part of it. So these discussions, according to these concerned residents, started sometime last year. It was rumored, but now they claim that they see activities in the Ramsia site, and for that matter, they need to pour out onto the streets to vent their displeasure, Zoe.
I was going to ask about the attachment to the land in question, but they indicated in your earlier interview with them that they hunt for deer in this area. Tell us more about that.
Well, the people of Efutu once every year have the Abuatri Festival, which is a festival meant for them. This is an annual festival that brings people from all walks of life into Efutu to witness the beautiful culture of the people of Winneba. But they are saying that, giving that portion of land out to an investor to mine for lithium puts the abattoir in limbo, because, they wouldn't have any space to go and hunt for deer. That means that what they are saying is that means that they have to go out and buy the deer, which traditionally shouldn't have happened like that. So that is one of the reasons why they are pouring out onto the streets. Again, they also raise concerns to the fact that that Ramsia site has some, things that have been given to them by their ancestors. They believe that Ramsia site is closer to them. That is what protects them as people of Efutu. And for that matter, they wouldn't sit and watch an investor come into the site to destroy the beauty of the site, Zoe.
Let's talk about today's demonstration. Clearly, the demonstration hasn't ended because we can hear you in the midst of the people. Having spoken to the residents, what are the numbers looking like? What are they saying? And what do they propose to do? Are they presenting a petition?
Well, Zoe, after speaking to the residents earlier this morning, you could see frustrations on their faces, and that they are not happy with the move to give that portion of land to an investor to mine for lithium. They are saying that they have seen elsewhere how mining has destroyed communities, has destroyed the natural beauty of communities, and for that matter, even those communities have not benefited they did not benefited enough. So they believe that if the same opportunity is given to the people to mine inside the Ramsia site, it will relatively be the same. So they don't want people to be mining in the site. And they believe that site has been kept by their ancestors for so many years. So it will be out of order to allow somebody to go into the site to mine. According to them, they are standing up against this move because they have not seen any development in any mining site, Zoe.
Are they presenting a petition, or do they have any intention of presenting a petition to anyone?
Well, they have indicated their intention to present a petition to the Efutu Municipal Assembly. But from what I learned, the municipal authorities are not ready to take the petition. But we are yet to see when we get there as to whether they will take the petition or not, Zoe.
Their Member of Parliament, Alexander Penyomarking, has he spoken about this issue? Have you heard any commentary with regards to this particular protest?
Well, Zoe, we've not spoken to the Member of Parliament. I'm sure perhaps after this demonstration, we'll hear him speak. But for now, we've not spoken to him.
All right. That was my colleague, Calvis Tete, joining us from Winneba in the Central Region, where some residents have taken onto the streets to show their displeasure over allegations of a possible sale of the Ramsa site to some investors for mining. We'll bring you some other stories now.
The Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, has given the strongest indication yet that Ghanaians will have stable power during the Christmas and New Year's festivities. This follows threats by the independent power producer Sunona Sogli Power Ghana Limited to shut down their plant if arrears owed them are not paid by the government in 1 week. According to the ECG, plans are underway to resolve the current situation with Sunon Asogli. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show today, the Managing Director of ECG, Samuel Dubik Mahama, said a meeting will be convened later this week between the government and IPPs on the way forward.
I'm extremely sad because as a development partner, when you are having correspondence, the big question will be why official letters are in the public domain, especially on social media. Because even their reversal, I am copied on the letter. I don't have the hard copy of the letter in my office. At 1 a.m., 2 a.m., writers published it on their page. So I then start to feel like, what is the end game to all of this? Granted, we owe Sunona Sogli. It has never been in doubt. We owe all the independent power producers some amount of money. Government, through its negotiation team, have negotiated with all of them a certain amount that they are all going to be paid. All these conversations with a letter that said, the very first one that says, we are shutting down 560 megawatts. My assurance to the good people of Ghana is that at every material moment, we use only about half of that. So a complete shutdown of the 560 doesn't mean a total loss of 560 to the grid. It's half. And that can always be cushioned because there's a buffer. So Ghanaians should rest assured that they are not going to have these issues during the Christmas period. And I know that is what has panicked everybody the most. My sadness again is the fact that the whole nation is in a frenzy about loss of power. Please keep calm. There are other measures that we can use to mitigate it as the utility. And all of those measures are being put in place as we speak. But we believe strongly that we are not going to come to that. There's going to be a meeting before the end of the week. After this said meeting, everything will be put in place.
Samuel Dubik Mahama also assured Ghanaians that all ECG customer service points will be open during the festive season.
ECG customer service centers don't go on break. They would be available to serve all customers. So rest assured that they will have access to power purchase. Everybody should also try and get comfortable with the ECG app. There are so many new good features on it. Starting somewhere next week, we'll be coming around to show people how to even use the app to get their meters read and for the proper bills to be issued to them. They should just keep calm. The customer service centers will be available. And they also have third-party vendors they can purchase from, and they can equally also purchase from the app.
You heard Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Samuel Dubik Mahama.
Now, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has stated that the National Cathedral should be seen as a tool for economic growth. According to him, ongoing conversations around the building of the cathedral should focus on how the edifice has the potential of accelerating the government's efforts at driving Ghana's tourism growth. The Finance Minister was speaking at Ghana Tourism Investment Summit 2023.
For most people who have not put their mind to it, this whole issue of the National Cathedral, in my mind, is the third leg of this triangle. How do you build a society in which you are clear on defining who you are politically? How do you build a society in which the economic engine is growing? And how do you contain that within the spiritual realm that ensures stability for ages to come? So that is Ghana, the economic emancipation, the political emancipation, and the spiritual. But even as we look at something like the cathedral, that has economic benefits beyond what we see. Both in Israel and the Hajj, they realize about $6 to $8 billion a year. In Africa, we have some 600 million people who are Christians. So imagine Ghana as a New Jerusalem, and these 600 million people floating through. $3,000 is spent, and it's a very different reality. So even as we contend with it and fight about it, let's look at this triangle and find a reason why we should also add that as part of the infrastructure base as we look at a society that is strong, resilient, and robust for the future. And we must find a way to do that.
Mr. Ofori-Atta further stated that the government remained committed to transforming the tourism and arts industry as it had the potential to develop the country's economy.
Similarly, the average spend, which was some $1,800 per tourist that comes into town, moved to almost $3,000 in 2019. And we are looking to push that up. The Ghanaian economy is going to, over time, continue to significantly depend on tourism and the creative sectors to provide literally 2 to 3 out of the 10 jobs that will be created going into the future. The multiplier effect on economic growth, job creation, development, tourism should really become a fundamental pillar of the Ghanaian economy for the foreseeable future. And indeed, we as a government are guided by a vision of placing Ghana among Africa's top 3 tourism destinations over the next 5 years, generating at least $5 billion annually. You look at countries like Egypt, Kenya, and South Africa, where you have literally some 12 million people coming through in Egypt.
That was the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta.
Let's now head to Parliament. Member for German North in the Bono region, Frederick Yao Ahinkwa, wants Parliament to probe a chieftaincy dispute which resulted in the death of one person at Sampa in that region. The police arrested 7 people for firing indiscriminately in the Bono region on November 30 this year. The suspects were reported to have fired shots during the installation of a paramount chief at Sampa, killing 1 person and leaving 7 others severely injured. In a statement on the floor of the House, the MP for the area also urged Parliament to summon the Ministers of National Security and Interior to brief the House on the situation.
What saddens my heart is that when the innocent person was gunned down by the police, a good Samaritan lady went to his rescue and she was equally gunned in her arm. Subsequently, several other persons who wanted to come to his aid were warned by the police to stay off, or else they would equally be gunned down, including the deceased's own children. They left the deceased unattended for hours until he finally died in the scorching sun. Mr. Speaker, was this situation not avoidable? Mr. Speaker, I pray your outfit to invite the regional minister, the RegSec of the region, and the National Security Minister, the Interior Minister, to appear before this August House and answer questions to what led to the demise of the innocent person and the injuries sustained by the other person, since they assured me that the situation was under control and they could contain the excesses. Also, they should assure this August House of measures they are putting in place to restore peace and calm without aggravating the situation, taking into account the polarized nature of the situation in Sampa. Mr. Speaker, I once again pray your outfit to constitute a committee to investigate the cause of this unfortunate and avoidable situation in Sampa.
You heard Frederick Yao Ahinkwa, the Member of Parliament for German North in the Bono region. In response, Interior Minister Ambrose Derry says the government would ensure that the peace which has returned to the area is sustained.
Anybody who has any doubts, go to that. Go to due process. But as of today, we are not aware of any appeal against the ruling of the Otufo. We are not aware of any court action restraining anybody, and therefore the police were there to maintain peace, and so we have done. Let me assure the Member of Parliament that in this contact, he didn't contact me. I was probably difficult to find. But I am a person whom a number of lawyers here would testify that I have a lot of knowledge as far as the chieftaincy processes are concerned. And I would give him free assistance and advice. But let this House not be a house which tends to usurp roles and investigation. What investigation is that? There's a chieftaincy matter. All the parties submitted themselves to the Asantehini. He gave a ruling, and that is it. There should be appeals, there should be action, National House and Supreme Court. Neither of that has taken place.
That was Interior Minister Ambrose Derry.
You're still listening to Citi Prime News. My name is Zoe Abubeidu Ado. Still to come, government seeks an out-of-court settlement to a litigation over the site for Government's Agenda 111 project in the Ablekuma West Municipality. Bring you the details of this and other stories. Please stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Abatu omrenie, kona kotu abani bio. Isi abatu omrenie, yankon kotu abani bio. Oyo mambaba, sorry kotu abani bio. Isi bo mkaese, kona kotu abani bio. Ebra so say kotu abani batam abatu. Assemblymen, unit committee members, to abamane, I am puntu yuma, to abamane. December 19th, please prepare yourself to go out there and cast your vote. Mamba Papa, 19th December, Fellow so got me your brain. About 200 no, Abambo for Yamba Sambasa, Yaya voters ID card, Utuya Kofie, a bomb my wapa. I can camera no, so yo mamba kotu abanu bio. Abatu omrenie, kona kotu abanu bio. Isi abatu omrenie, yankon kotu abanu bio. Oyo mamba sorry kotu abanu bio. Isi bo wonka ese, kona kotu abanu bio.
District Assembly elections. Please go and cast your vote.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. This is Citi Prime News. Let's take you to Nkwanta in the Oti region now, where some clashes few weeks ago occurred over disagreements over the celebration of the annual Yam Festival. About 8 persons were killed, with many fleeing the community. We will speak to our correspondent to bring us an update in the community or from the community. Desmond Ago, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Zoe.
What can you report from the community in terms of how stable or otherwise it is?
Okay, Zoe, thank you. So, as reported earlier, 8 persons were said to be killed initially, and other rumors I heard was that 4 were also killed in addition, making it to 12. Since then, schools have been closed down. We also know that one teacher was also involved in the killing. So schools in the area are currently not open or have still been closed down. Many have fled the community. Over thousands of the residents in Nkwanta municipality have left the community for the fear of their lives and are now residing in other parts of the Oti region, and also some have come to the Volta region. We've seen some many trucks coming downwards here as a result of the people living in Nkwanta. Market women now sell on the streets for fear of being injured when they are in the market. So they are now selling on the streets. Businesses are at a standstill. Nobody is opening their shop as usual. The few shops that have been opened also closed very early. We know there's a curfew in the community which begins from 6 a.m. to around 5 p.m. So business-wise, things are not moving as smoothly as it should be in the normal or on a normal day.
All right. So what about security? Is there visible security presence in the area as we speak? Because we know that some soldiers were deployed to the area.
Yes, the military are still on ground patrolling, and some police are also on the ground patrolling to ensure that security is stable in the community. But although the security are still there, the tension is still high. People are still they are very cautious. They are aware of what to do and what not to do. They know where to pass, where not to pass, just to avoid being lynched or being injured by unknown persons who do this act. Yeah.
All right. So that was Desmond Ago, who is our Volta regional correspondent, bringing us an update from Nkwanta in the Oti region. And he's reporting that schools are yet to resume after being closed down following clashes between some tribes in the municipality. The sources say sources, according to him, tension is still high in the community despite the security agencies patrolling the community, and a curfew is still being imposed on the municipality.
So the Small Scale Miners Association has cast doubt on the government's commitment to fighting illegal mining, otherwise known as Galamsey. This follows a court ruling that sentenced Chinese woman Aisha Wang to 4.5 years in prison with an additional fine of 48,000 cedis for engaging in illegal mining. Reacting to the court ruling, President of the Small Scale Miners Association, Michael Kojo-Pipra, says they expected at least 10-year jail term for Aisha Wang.
So I think the punishment is not enough, because if we really want to fight this canker, the best thing to do as a country is to make sure we tackle these Chinese criminals, because they are those who came into this Galamsey picture, and as soon as they got into this country, we can all attest to the degradation of our various forest covers and our various water bodies. So in order to be able to achieve this milestone the government wants to achieve, the best thing to do is to make sure that we put fear into these foreign nationals so that at least the fight against this Galamsey can be achieved. As a matter of fact, we thought that Aisha was going to face over 10 years or 15 years, as the amended law says, because 4.5 years is not deterring enough.
Michael Kojo-Pipra is president of the Small Scale Miners Association.
Now, the flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has expressed optimism about the party's chances in the upcoming 2024 general elections, attributing potential success to the support of its Council of Elders. In an effort to shape the party's course leading up to next year's polls, the NDC has inaugurated its Council of Elders comprising 34 long-serving members. The council includes Do Ajaho, Dr. Ubed Iyao Asamoah, Alhaji Hudu Yaya, Professor Kwamena Ahoy, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, Cletus Avoka, among others, and is chaired by Alhaji Mahama Idrisu, a founding member of the party. Their role is pivotal in the decision-making process and ensuring stability within the party. During a brief ceremony to formally inaugurate the council, leader of the party, John Mahama, underscored his commitment to collaborating closely with the council to bring about the much-needed change in Ghana's political landscape come 2024.
Now, the government is seeking for an out-of-court settlement to a litigation over the site for government's Agenda 111 project in the Ablekuma West municipality. Government earmarked to construct the hospital in the municipality on the land occupied by the Ebenezer Secondary School. However, the school and its Old Students Association sued the states over the decision. They also filed for an interlocutory injunction to halt the construction of the hospital until the final determination of the matter. On Tuesday, the government stated that the Education Minister had taken an interest in the matter and was discussing with the plaintiffs to withdraw the case. Lawyers for the state requested that the interlocutory injunction application be withdrawn for a discussion to be had. But the counsel for the plaintiffs requested for time to confer with the lead counsel, who was absent in court on Tuesday, before any further decision would be taken. The case has been adjourned to December 8, 2023.
The Electoral Commission, the EC, has opened nominations for aspirants vying for Jasikan and Gwan District Assembly and Unity Committee slot. This follows the passage of the constitutional instrument CI 19, which was laid before Parliament in accordance with the district-level elections regulations. In a statement released by the Electoral Commission, it says that the CI has fully matured. Hence, Jasikan and Gwan will participate in the upcoming district assembly elections slated for December 19. Here are excerpts of the statement.
Following the passage of the said CI and in accordance with the district-level elections regulations 2015 CI 89, the Electoral Commission will conduct the district-level elections in the Jasikan and Gwan districts on the 19th of December 2023. Nomination forms may be obtained free of charge at the Jasikan and Gwan district offices of the Electoral Commission or on the website of the Electoral Commission, www.ec.gov.gh. Completed nomination forms must be delivered in quadruplicate by either the candidate or the proposer or seconder, together with 2 copies of a recent postcard-sized photographs, bust-sized, to the returning office of the electoral area for which the candidate seeks election from Thursday, the 7th to Friday, the 8th of December 2023, between the hours of 9 o'clock in the morning to 12 noon and 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the evening on each day. Nominations for the district assembly elections shall be witnessed by the signatures or marks of the proposer and the seconder and supported by 18 other persons who are residents and registered to vote in the electoral area. Nominations for the Units Committee elections shall be witnessed by the signatures or marks of the proposer and the seconder and supported by 8 other persons who are residents and registered to vote in the electoral area. All inquiries related to these elections should be addressed to the district officers of the Electoral Commission in the Jasikan and Gwan districts.
You heard a statement by the Electoral Commission read by Eno Safo. This is still Citi Prime News. You're coming to you live from our studio at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. Stories we've been bringing you. Residents of Wuniba in the central region protest the sale of the Ramsar site for mining activities. Also, government to hold meetings with IPPs over debt issues as ECG promises to address outstanding issues with Sonon Asogli amid threats of shutdown. Now, motorists and residents near the downtown stretch connecting Abokobi in the Dome Kwabenya constituency voiced concern about the worsening road conditions causing considerable inconvenience. The stretch, which began at Wisconsin University, is still unfinished, causing 7 years of frustration for residents. They have called on the government for swift action to resolve the road problems. Furthermore, there have been setbacks in the construction of the dual carriageway linking the Atomic Runabout to Dome. Fred Duho provides more details in the following report.
We are throwing the spotlight on some trunk and link roads within the capital, Accra. And here at downtown, which is of the Ashoman area, we see a very terrible road that is bad at a certain portion. Drivers drive all the way, like you see that particular tanker coming on a certain level of speed. But the moment it gets to where I am now, it needs to lower its speed to be able to maneuver through the potholes because this section of the road is so terrible. And it's not that long. When you take into account the portion of the road that is bad, it will be about some 50 to 100 meters in length that is bad. And drivers drive all the way from the Wisconsin side, heading to Abokobi to join the Ebri Road. And this is where they would have to now slow down. Obviously, this is going to take a toll on their vehicle parts, and the spare parts quite expensive lately. Most of them are just not happy about the situation. So this, talk to us. What you say? What?
Since 2016, they did this asphalt from St. John up to here, and they give this bridge to contract up to date. After election, up to date. Look at about 7 years now. Why?
So in effect, the entire stretch was given out on contract.
Yeah, from here. Okay. From here, they give it. They change the bridge. This very bridge. That's all. After the bridge, up to date. They say, oh, they did it. They give you contract. You follow up. Me, myself, I'm one of the opinion leaders at the community here. Look at it here. Every day because of here, traffic is here. 7 years now.
Now we are entering into the festive season. Christmas is just around the corner. What is the traffic situation on a normal day here?
You have 3 places like this. Flowers, the Flowers Bridge, the same thing. That one to cause traffic. And assemblies here. That one to cause his traffic from 5 o'clock early morning up to 9 to 10 before traffic.
I don't have one kwan we so na areho. Na ekwan ya de mampani abefa so. The president ankasa befa so. Ekufuado na ankasa na befa kwan we so. Ekwan we ya 3 months pepe ekwan na time tutu. Etutu ya so na ke say at least ya municipal ayi wa ha assembly wa ha. Anja hwe kran ye grader wa ha no ebetimi ja grade kwan we so. But ekwan ya tutu. Grade ya fa grade bia me grade kwan so. Adafo for na kasa santi mi ankasa me gina yi na. Me say this year assembly election me kobi. Etina de we amanfo kasa na eyama homete. Na me am kopɛ grader na ye dey. Ye di be grade kwan so kakra.
That is one of the community stakeholders who is also aspiring to be an assembly member for this area. He's been saying that the road has been in this state for the past 7 years. During the previous government, they constructed it to a point, but this portion that is about 100 meters has been left unattended for so long, and to a point where he personally mobilized a grader to level it to make it motorable for drivers and motorists. This is also contributing to traffic, while drivers are also lamenting about the current state of the road. Driving ahead towards Abokobi, it is quite obvious that the entire stretch needs to be worked on. And when you drive further, you see that the road is quite bad. Now we see a woman here also selling some products, and she's putting on nose marks. For how long have you been here?
1 year.
How would you say the state of the road disturbs your business?
Yeah, because of the dust. All my foodstuffs always look so dusty. You have to be cleaning here and then. People too have been complaining.
And all these things are exposed to the dust being produced by moving vehicles on this stretch. Now, the question is, how long is it going to take for the motorists on this road and for residents around here to endure this level of dust and the bumpy nature of this road to commute in and out of their homes in this area? They said they've, on a number of occasions, called on the authorities and they've not seen the needed attention or response that this road deserves. Still on the City Newsroom, we are still in town gauging the state of roads that are deteriorating, those that have been abandoned, and probably shine the light on those that have been completed so far. And this particular stretch connects to Domi and Atomic Junction, specifically leading to Legon, Medina, Adenta, and its environs. This is a one lane, and due to the traffic congestion, government in its wisdom is trying to construct another on the other end that will make it a dual lane, that vehicles can go in this direction, probably 2 lanes, while vehicles on this side can also come in 2 lanes. But what is the extent or the state of work on the second project that is taking place here? We see vehicles or the machinery that is being used to construct the road parked here, and it is so glaring and visible that no one needs to tell you that these vehicles have been parked here for quite a long time. The project has stalled, and residents here are just not happy with the turn of events. It's been left to the mercy of the weather. The metal is also corroding gradually, and we've seen about 4 earth-moving machines that are largely parked here, and the entire machine is getting rusty by the day.
Abana ya de pa, if you say the way na ahatie no, ekwa no, wasi aba ekwa no mu a ebe double road aye de amaye no. Ebe ma aha aye de aboaye for traffic. But yen nim say sikasem na aba abai eja to kakra but me wori da so say the town come no ababa be to aso ayede ama MD asumdwa ayede aba.
When was the last time you saw contractors on this road?
Getting to 5 months.
When this road is constructed, how is it going to help you and your business?
Okay, the business it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But the business
he's been adding his voice first by thanking the government for even being thoughtful enough to construct a dual road. But he believes that it is due to lack of funding. That is why the road project has stalled for over 5 months now. And he believes that the moment this road is constructed, it's going to open up his business and even open up the entire area, and businesses here are going to flourish. My name is Fred Duho, reporting from the Ashoma Abokobi Enclave for Citi News.
Here in studio, my name is Zoe Abube Eduardo, and I'm here with
Charles Osokumi.
Still ahead in this bulletin, traders in Kumasi Central Market left stranded as private developers' alleged land guards assault security personnel and vandalize shops. We'll bring you the details shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally.
Hi, my name is Stephen Appiah, the team coordinator of the Black Stars. I always like to keep hydrated naturally, every day, any day. S Natural Mineral Water does the trick.
Manufactured through a double purification process to produce pure, natural drinking water. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
So much goes on in the news cycle that can leave you rather overwhelmed. At the tail end of a busy working day, as you're heading home, it's time to update you on the biggest stories thus far, giving you a perspective from the real newsmakers. Eyewitness News gives you nothing but clarity and authenticity. Catch Eyewitness News at 5:30 p.m. daily from Monday to Friday, only on 97.3 Citi FM.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You all come back. Now, scores of traders at the Kumasi Central Market are stranded after a private developer allegedly seized their trading area, deployed langars to brutalize their security personnel and vandalize the roofs of their shops. The traders, who say they have been occupying that portion of the Central Market for over 40 years, face a standstill in their trading as a private developer claims ownership of the land. Edward Opong Mafo is a bureau chief for the Middle Belt, and he joins us on the lines for more on this. When did this happen, Edward?
So the part where the alleged langars demolished structures happened on Sunday evening, and the authorities at KMA, those at the Ghana Railway Company Limited, have all been engaged in this issue. So let me give us background. The said portion of land, when the stand belongs to the Ghana Railway Company Limited, and for a very long time now, the traders have been granted access to use it. But just until recently that the traders are saying that they have been told that the said portion of land has been given to them by, it has been given to a private developer. And so the private developer, according to the traders, the person comes around occasionally to warn them to leave the area. But they were requesting that that authorities at KMA should be the ones to come in to tell them to leave the area, because that's where they have been operating for over 40 years. And so they were not going to budge. And so that has been the issue for some time now, until it escalated on Sunday, where some alleged langars went to the area. There were some private security guards around, according to the reports, the Langas assaulted the security guards and also went ahead to demolish the structures of these traders. And so from the videos that were, in fact, what we saw on the ground, you could actually see that they have taken off the roofs, the roofing sheets of the traders as the portion that they were using as the structures that they use in operating or engaging in their usual activities. Those roofing sheets were taken off, and then there were some kind of barricades preventing them from operating. And so that has been it. And the traders have been complaining about the fact that once this decision is allowed to stand, it will deprive them of their daily livelihood. And so they want the authorities to intervene. So we have spoken to the authorities at the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, and they're saying that per their records, there's nothing to show that a private developer is the actual owner of the place, and there has not been any kind of documentation to prove that indeed he's the rightful owner. And so they have asked the private developer to hold on as they are also conducting their own investigations to ascertain as to whether there has been any kind of change of ownership of a sort. And so that is it. And they've also asked the traders to go ahead and reconstruct their shares that they engage in their usual activities, because these ones have been destroyed by the alleged Langas. And so the KMA raised this issue that indeed that portion of land belongs to the Ghana Railway Company Limited. And so they are liaising with the Ghana Railway Company Limited on that issue. And so this morning, I went to the office of the Ghana Railway Company Limited, where I spoke to the area manager about it. And interestingly, he is saying that he's quite new. In fact, he resumed work yesterday, so he says he doesn't have a lot of details on the issue. But it has been brought to his attention, and he has invited the said private developer to bring all relevant documents for them to go through. And after that, they will also conduct their own investigations to know what should be the way forward.
How many shops have been affected?
Well, from what we see on the ground, we're unable to tell the number of shops, but the leadership of the traders are saying that so far about 200 of them will be affected, because some work with other people who help them in their daily operations. So they quote the number around 200.
Have they commenced trading activities as we speak today?
Yes, some are, although they are trying to reconstruct their structures, some are just operating around the area as they are still working towards it. So some have resumed, and because they have the assurance that they have that kind of backing from KMA, because KMA has asked them to go ahead and construct these structures that were demolished, and so they are still operating in the area. And the others who visibly have been affected in a number of ways, and they are structured, they are unable to use them at all. Those ones are not operating, but a few of them who are engaging in the activities.
Thank you very much for your time, Edward Opomafo. Edward Opomafo is our bureau chief for the Middle Belt, and he indicated that he spoke to the public relations officer of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, Henrietta Ifia Konedu Abwaje. Let's listen to her.
What KMA knows is that that place belongs to the Ghana Railways Authority, and then the Spatial Planning Department of the Assembly has not granted permit to any investor or individual that wants to develop that piece of land. By law, the alluvial owner of the land is the Otumfo, and whenever somebody buys a land or acquires any land from the Railways Authority, they're supposed to come with some documents to the Assembly. Our checks indicate that the said developer has not brought any documents to the Assembly. And per the planning laws of the state, you cannot develop a piece of land until you've submitted your documents and all that matters with regards to the land. Until you are permitted, that is when you can develop it. So the traders in question came to the Assembly. They actually went to court with the investor, and we were not party to the suit. And so we do not know what happened during the court proceedings, nor the ruling of the courts. And according to the woman, the court gave judgment to the investor. But then the investor has also not brought any document to the Assembly for him or her to be permitted to develop their place, that process by which you go through to develop your land, and he has not exercised any of them or gone through any of the process. So as at now, we know that that place cannot be developed until the developer submits his documents.
That was the public relations officer of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, Henrietta Ifia Kunidu Abuaje.
Now, the United States ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, is advocating for an end to military takeovers in Africa, emphasizing their detrimental impact on development. She highlighted that military takeovers often lead to severe humanitarian crises, and the Sahel region has experienced numerous situations that deprive citizens of their rights to shape their own futures. Speaking at an event organized by the U.S. Embassy at the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Center, Ambassador Thomas-Greenfield underscored that peace and security in Africa are top priorities for the Biden-Harris administration.
Just look at Ghana. As a net exporter of peace, Ghana has played a critical role to stabilize the region. Ghana's leaders have worked tirelessly to raise African perspectives and concerns at the UN Security Council, to deploy thousands of troops to serve in UN peacekeeping missions in Africa, to enable peaceful transitions of power, a free press, and resilient democratic processes that serve as a model for others. But some leaders in other countries have taken the opposite tack. They've chosen to turn their backs on the international system, to consolidate power for themselves at the expense of the rights, freedoms, and prosperity of their own people, to isolate themselves and their populations from regional institutions like ECOWAS and the African Union, and global ones like the United Nations, and instead turn to actors like the Wagner Group that sell conflict, exploitation, and destruction for a profit.
That was Ambassador Thomas-Greenfield, the United States ambassador to the United Nations.
We brought you an earlier story where some residents of Winneba have taken to the streets to show their displeasure over allegations of a possible sale of Ramsar site in Winneba to some investors for mining. The Member of Parliament for Ifutu, Alexander Penyomakin, has been speaking about the issue, and he has denied the sale of the sacred forest used in hunting deer for the annual Abuatri Festival to some investors. He spoke to journalists and said that the claims are untrue.
The NDC in my constituency has come out with a serious allegation to the effect that government officials, including my office, sat on concern and got the sacred forest of Ifutu, where we go for deer hunting, place has been sold for the mining of lithium. I simply want to say that this allegation is false, it's never true, and in fact the Minerals Commission 2 years ago issued a statement to the effect that such an application has not even been received by them, let alone approving for a company to mine lithium in that sacred forest where we hunt for deer during our Abuatri festival. So I just want to set the record straight, put it on record, that there is no such thing. I would want, therefore, to urge my colleagues in the NDC to focus on the real challenges facing our people so that we engage on issues rather than polluting the minds of people, misinforming and lying. Such a practice does not help in democracy. I am reliably informed that the Minerals Commission Chief Executive in a national dialogue has had cause to again reiterate that that which is being put out there by the NDC in Ifutu is untrue, unfounded, and he, as a chief executive of the Minerals Commission, hasn't signed any lease agreement for the purposes of mining of lithium in that enclave where we hunt for deer.
Member of Parliament for Ifutu and Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Penyomakin.
Still in Parliament, MP for Medina, Francis Xavier Sosu, says the refusal of President Akufo-Addo to assent to the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2023 and the Ghana Armed Forces Amendment Bill 2023 is a deliberate attempt to frustrate the laws passed by Parliament. President Akufo-Addo, in a letter to Parliament, declined assenting to the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2023, which seeks to criminalize attacks on alleged witches, and the Ghana Armed Forces Amendment Bill 2023, which also seeks to expunge the death penalty from the laws of the Ghana Armed Forces due to constitutional concerns. Addressing the media, the proponent of the bills, Francis Xavier Sosu, says the action by the president could undermine the country's democracy.
All those on death rows, we are now working for them to be removed from death row and committed to life. And the bill that seeks to remove death penalty for the Ghana Armed Forces, the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, is refusing to sign the bill that is introducing one most important reform in the Armed Forces law since 1962. So for me, it baffles me that the president is citing constitutional issues. So all this while, where has the president been? Or these constitutional issues have not been with us. I believe that what the president is doing is a deliberate effort to frustrate the laws that have been passed by this parliament. And it is very, very untenable. It's unacceptable. I don't believe that it's a good practice that will aid our democracy. Maybe because I am an opposition member of parliament introducing these bills. Remember that this parliament will continue to exist. In the future, we are developing the jurisprudence of parliament where private members can actively engage in bringing very important legislations that will change the course of this country.
You heard the Member of Parliament for Medina, Francis Xavier Sosu.
A joint venture partner in Ghana's oil and gas sector, MODEC and Gilmer Company Limited, has donated 123,000 cedis to support the Citi FM and Citi TV Relief for Volta campaign. The campaign by Citi FM and Citi TV is an initiative aimed at bringing respite to people affected by the Akosombo Dam spillage. Appearing on the Citi Breakfast Show, representatives from MODEC Ghana Limited said they were confident that their contribution will go a long way to support the affected residents.
Our mission here is simple. We've heard of the good work you are doing regarding the Akosombo spillage issue. Yes. As corporate citizens and as a corporate institution in Ghana, we thought that we'd also come in to also play our part and then actually donate to support this cause.
As MODEC and GILMEC.
Exactly.
Together,
yes.
Are you coming with staff donations or official company support? I just want to be sure.
So we are coming with an official company support. This is part of our corporate social.
Oh, then to be heavy. Then Charlie, Nathan, please come into the studio. Where are the guys? If it was staff, maybe they'll just collect some silver collection. But they say it's the whole big company matter. Yeah. So it'll be like the money go chow. So yes. So who's going to make the announcement?
So I will be really honest. We are donating 120,000 cedis.
Wow!
To support your cause.
120,000 cedis.
123.
123. Wow.
We're actually waiting for the bell.
Where's the bell? Wow. They bring it. They brought a check. A huge. Samuel, please come and collect the check.
The dummy check.
Oh, can't collect it. This money only you can collect it.
So he heard accept of a donation by representatives of MODEC and Gilmer Company Limited towards Citi FM and Citi TV's Relief for Volta campaign. Now, the National Road Safety Authority, in collaboration with stakeholders such as the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, MTTD, is intensifying efforts against speeding by commercial drivers as the festive season approaches. The authority says it will leverage on the Ghana Police Service's Traffic Tech GH automated system to identify and prosecute offenders. Speaking at a press briefing, Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Engineer David Osafo Adontin, cautioned drivers against speeding as he launched the NRSA's Christmas Road Safety campaign dubbed Stop Speeding, Stay Alive.
Our message is simple. Stop speeding. Stay alive. As I've just said, excessive speeding is the root cause of all fatal crashes globally and in Ghana. Now, ensuring reduction in travel speeds in compliance with maximum speed limit laws and regulations, that is 90 kilometers per hour on the highways, 50 kilometers per hour in towns and settlements, 30 kilometers per hour in schools and crowded areas. It is only on the motorway that the expectation is that we move not more than 100 kilometers per hour.
Engineer David Osafa Donting is the Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. That'll be all for Citi Prime News, which came to you live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, log on to citinewsroom.com. My name is Zoe Abube Eduardo, and I'll see you with
Charles Owuzukumi.
Many thanks for your time.
Citi 97.